All right, and we are back here on Couch Coach Live, a different night. We're here Tuesday night under the lights now, especially since the end of daylight savings time. We are here Tuesday night here under the lights here on Couch Coach Live. What's going on, Mal?
Shit, man.
Not much, man. We're here, and hey, we have our eighth annual Couch Coach Live mid-season NFL Palooza, and we got our guy sitting
Right,
at 8-0 in the NFL world. Our guy Mar representing the
right,
Kansas City Chiefs, the two-time Super Bowl champs. What's going on, Mar?
right,
Hey
right.
man, always a pleasure to be here to be with you, Couch, and Maui, man. I love the collaborations we always put together. We always have a good time talking sports, man. So, hey, man, appreciate y'all, man.
Always,
Hey,
always, yeah,
hey,
man. And
hey, Coach. I got a question, man. If it's okay,
mhm.
a little bit later, I gotta ask Mar a question pertaining to
Okay,
a take I had last year or before the season. I want to know what he feels about it.
okay, yeah,
Hey,
we can.
All right, all right.
you want to tackle it right now?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, let's do that
Can I,
now.
Coach?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So we were talking. I think we had last time I seen you. We was having what we thought the predictions of each team was going to be, right? And I told you I want my Steelers to win, but it would be cool to see a three-peat because I said I don't feel like Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs to be undefeated and a two-time Super Bowl champions are not getting the publicity that they should get. How do you feel about that? Do
Man,
you feel like they're getting the publicity they're supposed to get?
I think it's starting to ramp up because people are already looking at their schedule, and rightfully so. You look at the rest of their schedule. Obviously, you got Bills, Texans, and you got a whole bunch of divisional games. You got Panthers in there, so
Right,
you got Browns in there. So people are already looking
right.
to crown them as the undefeated three-time Super Bowl champs in a row. Me personally, as a Chief fan, I don't give a damn about that undefeated crap. I really don't.
Right.
Um, just raise a trophy at the end of the season. That's the only thing I care about.
Mm-hmm.
And you see how the general manager Brett Veach, he went out and still got aggressive. You get D-Hop, you bring back
Mm-hmm.
Kareem Hunt, and Kareem Hunt has paid dividends. I mean, he looks like
Mm-hmm.
he back his rookie year in 2017 when he led the league in
Mm-hmm.
rushing as a rook. Um, and believe it or not, that offense is more of a run first offense now. And then
Mm-hmm.
you see last night, Monday night, D Hop paying dividends immediately. I mean, the guy's been in the building maybe 10, 11 days and look like him and Mahomes already got a great connection. So
Right, right.
yeah, Chiefs just handle business. I'm pretty sure I'm like Andy Reid and Mahomes and the rest of them boys in there that they don't give a damn about the publicity. They just want to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that they raise that trophy at the end of the season. Anything less is kind of like a at this point it's a letdown. It's a failed season, so I'm pretty sure that's how they
And
feeling
that's the
this.
problem. That's my problem because y'all feel that way and y'all want to be, but look, y'all don't want the lights on y'all. That remind me of the Patriots before Randy Moss got there. I feel like that's how they were. They didn't care. They don't care how they won. It could be ugly, but once they got Randy Moss, it was all about trying to look good.
Yeah,
Damn, that's crazy to me. But yeah, I
yeah,
just wanted to see your take on that.
yeah. Hey, it's about dubs, man. It's about trophies. I mean, this organization before
Mm-hmm.
2019, they saw 50 years of no trophies. So now that now that
Right.
you now that you are in that seat of being the dynasty,
Mm-hmm.
um, that's what it's about now.
Mm-hmm.
It's about just. I mean, everybody's been seeing how the Chiefs been playing. It ain't been pretty. It ain't been
Right.
cute.
And
It
yeah, yeah.
it's about get that dub. So that's all that matters.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Right. All right.
and it's
All right.
and it's not like the '07 Patriots where I wouldn't say they were blowing teams out, but they were like in dominating fashion. So I think a lot of it too is like I think like I said, it was more people like
Right.
kind of waiting for the moment for y'all to lose. I know, especially last night when when Tampa Bay was up, pretty much had control of that game. A lot of people was like, "All right, this is the night, this is the night." And then and people been talking about running the table for few weeks, because I know we as far as them potentially running the table, and I think we even brought up that they haven't lost a game since Christmas, and then that's everybody starting to ramp that up there, so I mean, you're about halfway there. You got 9 more to go, so we shall see. So
yeah, it's gonna be tough because the Chiefs, they're gonna get everybody's best shot. Every team, even if they're the Browns, even if they are the Panthers, they're gonna try to do their best. I mean, what you got to lose? I mean, what? Which is, and I know we got other things to talk about. I was kind of confused on why Todd Bowles did not go for that 2-point conversion last night. You go for the win, bro.
Right.
And his explanation made 0 sense to me. So, me personally, I don't think he will lose his job, but if he does, I could look back at a couple of decisions, including that one, on why he lost his job. So,
considering the fact that they pretty much was in the driver's seat in this game, obviously y'all came back. Yeah, that would have. And then the weather wasn't bad; it was raining, so it's like, I'm not. And then, because to me, what ended up happening? When Baker Mayfield, when they lost that coin flip, he already knew his mind. And look at his face, he knew. He knew. So it's like, why you put them in a position where you have a 50-50 coin toss that can go either way? I'm just like, you silence that loud ass crowd and get out here with a victory.
Coach, they just drove down the field and got a touchdown. You got the momentum. You have all the momentum on your side. You had the defense reeling. Go for the win. And I know there was 27 seconds left on the clock, and we've seen Mahomes, getting field goal range at 13, but still, man, you leave it in. Baker Mayfield played a good enough game that his hand was so hot. You go ahead and keep feeding him. So
exactly. Better them than me, because I would have went for broke.
For real.
Because you don't get those opportunities. You don't get opportunities like that.
Right. And that's what I mean. Like, you gotta you can't be nice playing the Kansas City Chiefs because of Andy Reid's genius and then Patrick Mahomes' wild card mystique to me. You know what I mean? You don't give them opportunities. Like, you know what I mean? You got to keep your foot on their neck, and you can't stop. You either need to keep them off the field. You know what I'm saying? Or you just gotta stay ahead of them. I would never want to keep the game close unless you don't see him on the phone. Unless I'm just really controlling the clock. But I got to make sure I score too. You know what I mean? Patrick Mahomes is he's very, very, very unpredictable.
Yeah.
He's the Roy Jones of the NFL. Unorthodox. Seriously.
Yeah. But man, I don't know what Tampa Bay was doing, but hey, it is what it is. So we are pretty much, most teams are at the halfway point. Some teams have played 9, some plays 8. We're at a point where I guess maybe next year, when everybody play 9 games, 18-game season, potentially next year, maybe, then it'll be straight down the line, week 9 or week 10. But we're here, midseason Palooza, so got a great show lineup for you tonight. We'll talk about today's trade deadline. There was a lot of movement in the NFL today's. And so we done that. Our second NFL coaching casualty happened yesterday. So we'll talk about Dennis Allen being fired. We'll also discuss some teams that have overachieved in our personal opinions, teams that have underachieved in our personal opinion. Then also we'll talk about what teams that are under 500 that will make the playoffs, and teams that are over 500 that will make the playoffs. And then we'll also round it out with our hot takes for the second half of the season. So we'll be right back here on Couch Coach Live, and we'll kick that intro, and we'll be right back here on Couch Coach Live. And we're back here on Couch Coach Live, another on a Tuesday night edition here on Couch Coach Live, our 8th annual NFL midseason Palooza. So we get started. So today was the official NFL trade deadline. So I'll just briefly go the acquisition that happened today. We can and I'll just go around the horn. Just your thoughts on it, on the deals, and and whatever. Just your thoughts on what happened today. So it started off early. Zadarius Smith went to the Detroit Lions. Jonathan Mingo got traded to the Dallas Cowboys for a 4th round pick. Very peculiar. Which how much? What did y'all get for D Hop? What, a 5th, right?
We gave him a 5th. It could potentially turn into a 4th. So, and still got the Titans to pay about majority of that salary too. So,
so the Cowboys could have got more. I mean, it could have gave up. Never mind. I'll be quiet. All right, let me be professional. All right, so then obviously the commander, Marshawn Lattimore, goes to the Washington Commanders, and then Maui, your Steelers cleaned up today, getting Mike Williams, and also I got Preston Smith, a former Commander. So I'm gonna go around the horn, fellas. Your thoughts on today's trade deadline? I'm gonna go to you first, Mark. What you got?
I thought the two teams, well, 3, that pretty much did what was necessary. Obviously, the Lions get Zadarius Smith. Obviously, I don't think he provides the same production as Hutchinson, but you still need to get a solid pass rusher. So that was smart on their end. And your team, Maui, I love what the Steelers did. I know Mike Williams can be banged up every now and then, but he's still a big body receiver. Managed to stay healthy this year so far. That helps alleviate some of that pressure off of your boy Pickens. So it's not just all on him to be the receiver threat. And getting Preston Smith. I mean, you already got a great pass rush with Hightower, Hayward, and Watt. You had another pass rush. I mean, I think Smith was directly looking at because you got 2 games with the Ravens still, and you got to get after Lamar. So I thought exactly that's what that move was. So I definitely love what they did, and of course, your team, Couch. Hey, if there was a weakness on the Commanders, it was your pass defense on that secondary, and you get a dog. You get Marshawn Lattimore. So I thought those 3 teams nailed the draft trade deadline. Trade deadline, not draft, but trade deadline for sure. I thought they did a fantastic job.
Yeah. Your thoughts, Mel? What you got?
Oh man, piggybacking everything my man said right here. I'm happy the Commanders is doing well, so I'm extremely happy of what they got. It seemed like they're thinking the teams that really made the move is really paying attention on what they may need just to help them out, or just to have extra, just in case somebody get hurt, or or just to cover the basics of what we may need. And so, you guys are tied with the Eagles, if I'm not mistaken. But I think the Eagles is your biggest rival or biggest competition in your division, and they got some receivers, and so you're able to have somebody at least something to take care of one. You know what I mean? And I just think I love when the teams go out there and really pay attention and give what they may need, or say, hey, we got an opportunity to get this, keep building. Just like my team, I feel like we got a lot of edge rushers, but to have another one is really smart, because I know we're going to have to hit Derrick Henry. Like, you can't finesse against the Ravens. We're going to make him have to throw the ball. So to make Lamar, we know how to beat Lamar. That's one thing about the AFC North that is weird. Like, we have harder trouble going up against the Bengals for some reason. I don't know why, but the Bengals really can't beat when Lamar's healthy. The Bengals really can't beat the Ravens. It's so weird, but you gotta hit Derrick Henry. You gotta pop him. You know what I mean? So somebody's gonna get hurt. You know what I mean? Usually it's one of my linebackers that end up stopping him, but at the same time hurting himself. Zadarius Smith. Hutchinson got hurt. and that was 7 sacks. And you got Ladarius Smith coming in with 5 sacks. So at least you don't have Hutchinson, but at least you got somebody that can give you some confidence. And you know what else I liked about this is that this ain't Myles Garrett, and you got a player that can easily be in the same lane as those two, Hutchinson and Myles Garrett, but he knows how to play with them. So he has he's been like on Myles Garrett on with the Browns. He was doing better, but he still was number 2. If you understand what I'm saying. So you always want to have somebody that can necessarily, for a fact, say this, that dude, that's okay. I got your back. Cause I know if I got your back, what I'm saying, you got mine. You know what I mean? We here together to win this. So I like that. I'm a little bothered though. I think the Falcons should have went out there and tried to get something on their defense. And letting the Cowboys at least try to get a running back. Yeah, and that's on you, coach. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why they didn't try to go get a running back.
Hey, come on, man. The Cowboys are cooked, bro. They any
I
move
know.
they make is for the future, because getting Mingo's for the future. It ain't for this year.
And to get him for a fourth was really alarming.
And he still has 2 years left in this rookie deal.
Right. And I mean, and I did say I did like him coming out of the draft last year.
Mm-hmm.
I did like that. So I mean, that could be a potential piece down the line. But like you said, you're not doing anything this year. Where obviously now Dak is on the IR, so he's gonna be out probably up until maybe Thanksgiving potentially. If best case scenario, he'll be back on Thanksgiving in 4 weeks. So they're done. I mean, their season, and what, they're like 3-5 at this point. So it's like, unless Cooper Rush has this type of resurgence in a sense. So that was kind of interesting move for the Cowboys. Obviously, like what the Steelers did, bringing in Mike Williams, and then also bringing in Preston Smith. I like to talk about Preston Smith, former Commander. That's just great depth on both ends, kind of alleviate pressure off both sides. Obviously, like you talked about as far as the edge, so that definitely adds depth there. And then also Mike Williams kind of alleviate George Pickens' load as well. Obviously, Zarius Smith, Lions pick. I do like that. I think I wouldn't say he's a great value version of a Hayden Hutchinson, but he get the job done. I don't necessarily think he's gonna get those numbers, but I think he could definitely help give that Lion team some penetration on the edge and what they need. So obviously I don't necessarily think he's gonna have that impact per se, but he will pay dividends for this Lions team. And last but definitely not least, Marshawn Lattimore. I think that the Commanders once again hit it out of the park again. This is another solid move for this team. This is where they get it. This just lets me know this team really thinks that they can make a run. You don't make a deal like this if you don't think that you are in that position. And I think sometimes you think to yourself, okay, this team is 7-2. Okay, we're gonna rest on our laurels. And even Adam Peters, Dan Quinn has said this week in and week out, they always are finding ways to improve this roster week in and week out. And they are a man of their word and getting a guy like him. And I think this is going to help a guy like a Ben St. Juste, where he doesn't necessarily have to be that one that's guarding your number one wide receiver. And I think that's going to definitely help him. So, and then obviously, especially in this division where you have Devontae Smith, you have AJ Brown, CeeDee Lamb. I mean, who else will be playing? We'll be playing Drake London down the line. Then, so we got that corner that we definitely need. And then I want to see that couple with what we already got there. And, so this is letting me know Washington wants to make it to Detroit at the end of January. This lets me know this isn't just we want to get divisional t-shirts. We want to win a playoff game. We want to go to Detroit the last Sunday in January.
Great.
Well, that's a goal. And that's it.
I hear you, bees.
Their goal, that's what their goal. I mean, because that type of move, you putting all your chips at the table.
Going all in.
You're going all in for sure.
Might as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
definitely a difference
bottom line is you got a new organization, bro. Got new people saying, "Man, hey, man, that's what you're supposed to do." When you see it's we at what week 10 or whatever, right? We look where we at, and we just made these moves. It's time we got to go all in, man. You know what I mean? Got to do what you got to do. Can't hold back.
Sure. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Once upon a time, there were times when people held back. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
They're doing it the right way, and that's all.
They're doing it the right way.
You can hope at this point. But yeah.
Hey, more times than not, when you're a buyer, that means that you're in a good position. When you're a seller, you're picking at the top of the draft.
We did that last year, like how we were last year.
Right, and that's why that dude in the Austin football team need to trade. He need to sell that team because he's doing it the old way. He ain't doing it but holding them back.
Jay ain't selling that team. That man counting his money, bro.
Yeah, that's his prize. Yeah,
right.
And I'm telling you, they're gonna have to get Jerry on something because that's what happened. That's what happened to Daniel Snyder. Because honestly, he's gonna keep that team. And unless they get something, get some dirt on him, because honestly, what happened with Snyder was, hey, they weren't getting their fair share of revenue share when they came to FedEx. Well, the Northwest / FedEx or whatever, they weren't getting their revenue because they didn't care less about all the immoral stuff that happened in the organization. They didn't care about the incidents of harassment amongst the employees and the staff of the team. It got him because of that money. Because they weren't getting paid properly.
Right.
That's the only way. That's the only way Jerry can get out. Because he's too instrumental in like the growth of the game, like the growth, but as far as like the whole thing with them going to LA, he was instrumental in that. I mean, he's like the guy when it comes to the owners. Like he's like the face of it. Like you think of Roger Goodell.
He's like the NFL Godfather, man. Hey, don't no moves get made in the NFL if they don't talk to Jay Jones, man.
Yeah, Jay Jones get the big piece of chicken.
No cap, though.
Yeah,
no cap.
Yeah, Jerry powerful.
So is.
Yeah, man. Hey, keep it going. That's all I got to say. So, and it is funny because it is just weird to me, like how the season has changed. I know a lot of people thought that Dennis Allen was going to be the first coach to be fired. Wasn't the first coach to be fired. Obviously, Robert Saleh got that dubious title, but Dennis Allen is now the second coach fired this season. Obviously, he was fired on Monday. Obviously, the Saints were 2-0 to start the season. They have lost 7 straight games, and then in that 7-game losing streak, they lost to the Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. I guess that's what the straw that broke the camel back potentially. And Dennis Allen had a 18-25 record. What's your thoughts on Dennis Allen getting canned, Mark? What you got?
Hey man, you said it, 18-25, man. I mean, look, I get it. They had some injuries, and but at the end of the day, man, he took over a team and really wasn't winning with them. And then when you lose 7 in a row, that signs of you losing the locker room. They're not playing for you, man. Then you lose to the Panthers. I mean, that's the JV team of the NFL, bro. Like, what do you lose to the Panthers? And that's the same team week 1. You drop 40 plus on them, and then this time around you get half that points and you lose. So I mean, it was kind of like you said, it was a straw that broke the camel's back. I'm not surprised that he got canned. I had Dennis Allen and I had Robert Saleh on my top 5 coaches list that could possibly lose the job, and right now 2 of them have. I think I had Mike McCarthy on that list. There's a good chance he'll lose his job. I had Nick Sirianni. He'll find a way to clown his way out of Philly too. And then I had Sean McDermott from Buffalo, just because I just kind of think they're kind of hitting their glass ceiling, especially if they won't be able to get to the Super Bowl this year. So I still got some possibilities of those other three possibly still making it, but no surprise Dennis Allen got canned. He's a D coordinator, portraying and treating it like it's Halloween as dress up as to be a head coach. So no surprise.
Yeah.
Right.
What you got, Mal?
Hey man, 18 to 25. I think when they started the season, a lot of people was getting excited over them because I think they were motivated. It was a veteran team that was motivated, especially with the Lil Wayne and Kendrick thing also, that we was trying to have it at home. You know what I mean? And some type of reality check, because it is a veteran team. You're dealing with injuries. I don't know. It just seemed like Derek Carr keeps finding himself in these situations also. But yeah, basically, that's that 18-25. And that's what happens when, he got an opportunity. It didn't work out. So it's just time for him to go now. You know what I mean? And then let them go ahead, just start getting ready for the next season, because 0 for 7, man. That's wild. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's my take on it. 18 to 25, man. Like, it seemed like also a lot of these teams are like, hey, they take chances on old quarterbacks and things of that nature, and and they like, okay, we're gonna see how long this gonna go, and if it don't seem like the Saints really they're not going anywhere, man. They seem like they were, but they're not going anywhere. So you might as well just start getting ready to make some moves.
Yeah. I mean, they started out 2-0. They were somewhat of a surprise to many of us, but then we made a reference on this show. David Carr, he's called used car for a reason. He's a neighborhood car dealership that does in-house financing and give you a lemon air freshener.
Right.
But then you got to come back a few weeks later because the engine blown. It's like, people got to realize, if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. This is pretty much how it's been with him at every stop.
Every stop.
Like you said, seven straight losses. I mean, and like you said, a Carolina team, like you said, this is their second win of the season. So you look at that, and and look how bad Carolina has been, and they won with a guy that Canales don't even want, like, who I thought we were going to talk about him being traded somewhere today, and Bryce Young, but you lose to the Carolina Panthers in that kind of fashion, and then obviously all the situation that will happen with Chris Olave and all that happened with the concussion, and Keyshawn nephew chirping on it on social media all during the game, and I'm just like, it all kind of came to a head, and this is gonna be bound to be happening. And like you said, Mar, it's like now the Saints to kind of move out of this post. Who's the coach for the Broncos? Oh, Sean Payton. So they can kind of get out of this Sean Payton area. Obviously, Dennis Allen was a defensive coordinator, so during those days, now they can kind of start off fresh and just do it and just start anew with this team, and try to get the quarterback, because obviously Carr's not gonna do it. So now you got to go and get a quarterback. I don't know if they believe in maybe a Spencer Rattler potentially, but I don't know. But you would assume that they, especially at this point, they're in position to get a quarterback. So yeah, I mean, why not do it now? And once again, Dennis, just like Robert Saleh, Dennis Allen will be home for Christmas. And I think there'll be some other coaches that's going to be home for Christmas too. So I don't think this is going to be the ending of not mid-season, but a in-season firing. So Dougie P, he might be coming home for Christmas.
Woo! Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Hey, right there with you.
It's getting there. It's getting there, and it's sad, but it's going to happen potentially. Yeah. But they had to get rid of him. But he'll be on the NFL sidelines being a defensive coordinator probably as early as next year. So
Mm-hmm.
he'll be
You
there.
don't get a job.
Hell, we'll see I wonder what's going on if Denver have a situation with their defense. Maybe he'll be back with Sean Payton potentially. I don't know. I'm just making something up, but we shall see.
I wouldn't put it past.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
I wouldn't put it past.
Right.
They
So
always
as
look
we
out for
now,
one another.
for sure. I mean, that's kind of. I mean, that's kind of how it happens. I mean, especially in coaching. Yeah, they always.
Right.
That's why you always be like, oh, this person's still hanging on in the league, and speaking of that, like what happened today in Mario, one of your divisional rivals, the Las Vegas Raiders. Noah Turner's back. He's gonna be joining his son. And they thinking that Scott Turner gonna be running the plays for the Saints for the Raiders since Luke Gessie got fired yesterday. So Scott Turner's gonna run an offense, and good luck with that. All I can say is good luck with that. We've been there, done that, and I'm glad it's over. I got a T-shirt. I did get an NFC East T-shirt, 2020 NFC East Champion shirt, but hey, it's just good luck to him. Good luck, George Scott and Aiden O'Connell. But anyway, so we're here pretty much primarily at the halfway point. So we'll go around the horn, fellas. Which team has overachieved in your personal opinion? I'm gonna go with you first, Mark. What you got?
Man, believe it or not, I think the easier choice would say the Commanders, but I'm going Arizona Cardinals. I thought they were going to be absolute trash, and here they are leading the NFC West. I definitely think they overachieved. Matter of fact, I thought they were good. At some point, start being sellers at this trade deadline, and they didn't necessarily make any moves to improve their team, but the fact that they're even sitting at the top of that division, when I think most people, include myself, would have easily said San Francisco. That's their division to win. I didn't see Arizona could do what they're doing. I know the record ain't great; they're 5-4, but I thought they'd be in contention for the
Right.
number one overall pick. So uh, I got to give hats off to the Cardinals, man.
Right.
Scrappy, real scrappy team, and I think they're playing some competitive football week in and week out. And I definitely think they're overachieving because I did not see that. I did not see this at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, what you got, Mel?
I got the same thing. I said I put a few teams. We already know Commanders. We spoke about the Steelers. He just spoke about the Cardinals. I'm gonna say the Broncos. I think with their quarterback, I didn't think they would be where they're at. They're actually, you can lose. You can go with your team can go in there and actually get beat by the Broncos. When the last few years you would never would think that. I'm gonna say the Chargers. Same thing. Like they're it's coming together. It's coming together. They're one of the competitive teams, but I'm gonna actually really just say the Vikings. I mean, I didn't think with Sam Bradford that they would be where they're at right now. You know what I mean? With the quarterback they got in losing Kirk Cousins, I really didn't think. I know you probably say, "But Sean, they are already kind of been competitive last few years," but you didn't think with this quarterback that they got that they would be where they're at, and it just goes to show, man, with maturity. A coach, what I'm saying, that's patient and really put something to bring your strengths from you, and you know what I mean, and have an organization believe in you, and just being a vet and going through a lot. That's I think that's part of the story they don't really talk about, is being a vet and going through not meeting expectations, and then when you get some years behind you, you find a place where actually things start working out in your favor. You know what I mean? And so that's my team. I feel like really the most probably overachieving. Like I don't even think people really thought that Sam Bradford's going to be able to do what he's doing. Oh, and what's my man? Well, we already thought the Lions was going to be good, so let me let that go.
Yeah. I think obviously I look at like Washington. Obviously at
Mhm.
7-2, I didn't think they were going to be at this spot. This at this juncture, I figured they were going to have some growing pains. I knew they were going to be a wild card
Right.
team. I still think that they are on a somewhat of a wild card projection or potentially winning the division. But I think the fact that essentially, if somebody would have told me that following the Giants win, that 2 weeks in a row they would punt, and then they would win 6 out of the last 7 games. And so I never thought that the only 2 losses would have been to to the Baltimore Ravens and also to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So that's I think they have overachieved in my personal opinion. I thought this was going to be a 9-10 win team, and like I was telling Mark before we went on air, the Commanders might win 10 games before their bye week in the second week of December. So to me, it's just been that way. Minnesota as well. I definitely because I thought this was going to be like a JJ McCarthy, like right around this time, JJ McCarthy would have made his debut, his NFL debut. But obviously, with the injury, he's been out for the year. And I think in a weird way, I
Right.
think because when we did the preview for the North, I don't think JJ McCarthy was hurt at that point. But I always with that Sam Donald. I thought once an injury, he would play a little bit more freer because he doesn't necessarily have to worry about that being behind him as far as the fact that, okay, if I mess up or I screw up, they got the number 9th overall pick in the draft and they're going to unleash him, if I make a mistake or whatever. So, and, I look at that. And then I look at even the Bills. I definitely didn't think the Bills would be 7-2 as well. I figured they would be a team that would kind of be in it as far as the playoff wise, but I think they're going to run away with the AFC East for sure. At this point, the way things are going, hell, they are maybe a month away from clinching this division. If that, maybe 3 weeks. So, and then also just Josh Allen playing good football, and he's not turning the ball over like we've done in the custom, and that's the Josh Allen that I always thought that could be that way. I think a lot of people look at Josh Allen, a lot of people, especially from a media perspective, saying he was voted the most overrated player in the league, and I'm like, but I always said when he's on, he's on. He's on now. Look what they doing 7-2, and that's the thing too, where hey. I would take a Josh Allen, and one day he throw 3 interceptions, but then the next he throw 5 or 6. You will take that. So as
I
we
agree.
talked about teams, so teams that overachieve, we got to talk about some teams that have underachieved. I'm gonna go with you first, Mar. Who's been your team that underachieved?
Oh man, I mean, there's a handful that we can definitely name off the rip. But
It's like a Rolodex.
yeah, I got a whole Rolodex. But I gotta go with Cincinnati. You talking about a team that's been in the thick of the AFC hierarchy for the last 3-4 years, and unfortunately, they do what they normally do, which is a problem. They started off slow and then haven't been able to consistently stay in the winning column. They've been kind of like trading wins and losses about every other week. So, um, that's just a team that I just think is like, man, like what are you? I'm definitely looking at them in Seattle. I really don't know what to make of Seattle. Seattle is they're too up and downy for me. I really don't know what they are. There were moments that I thought the defense was playing good, and then now they're not. And then offense has kind of been the same way, where you're not getting that consistency. So those two teams for sure for me that just aren't playing. For me at least, aren't playing up to what I thought that they would be for sure.
All right, what you got, Mal?
Man, I got a few teams, but we already know. Definitely the Jets. I put the Raiders too. I thought the Raiders was gonna make them. I thought the new coach. It just seemed like they went. It's like, okay, you run right to being the same team. You having all this drama on issues with coaches, blah blah blah. Now they players is leaving. I'm like, what the hell has been going on since really, and since AB was there, just about. You know what I mean? And AB ended up leaving. It's been the same ish. Like it didn't anyway. So that's the Raiders. Definitely, I said the Browns, the Jets. We talked about the Saints, Cowboys, definitely. But I got two teams. I put Miami, and I didn't really get a lot of information from them. But the last time we had talked about, we said anything or I've heard anything about Miami is when Hill got in trouble, and no, my bad, Tua in his concussion. I haven't heard anything about Miami since then. And Miami with this coach was supposed to be really on their mark to be coming back. You know what I mean? And making and getting rid of their losing ways. With the Patriots being gone, it was an opportunity for the Bills and Josh Allen, and then Tua and Miami to be the new team of the division, which it's definitely somewhat been like. And then Miami was making a run, but it's definitely the Bills, and then the Jets. Like I said, Aaron Rodgers coming, but I haven't heard anything about Miami. I don't hear anybody really talking about them. But I'm gonna go with the 49ers. One of the things I was talking about off season was about Brock Purdy getting his money. I didn't like the tone of what some people was saying. I'm like, yo, how he was drafted, but regardless of anything, like he's never not been in the playoffs. Like, you know what I mean? Like he was there. You know what I mean? And matter of fact, what you say, Coach, he almost won a Super Bowl, or so? What did you say? Like he was this close from winning, right? And then so it's blasphemy to me because all these dudes got paid and they're hurt. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, so he's not hurt. He's playing. But anyway, so I give it to them because I don't really think I'm gonna save that one. I'm gonna save that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm kind of giving it to the 49ers.
I think mine is going to be the Jets. They're another one where I thought they were going to be a team that either was going to be contender for a wild card or win the AFC East. They're another team that I'm gonna put this. I don't want to say they're poised to have a second half run, but they're gonna have to really run the table. I don't necessarily think they're gonna run the table. I know they did have a good win last week against Houston. I don't think that's gonna kind of stick as far as them going on this major run.
Right.
But I think the ultimate one has got to be the Cleveland Browns. I mean, consider the fact last year you going to Baltimore at the time. Baltimore was probably one of the hottest teams at that time. Deshaun Watson not balls out in the game, but he plays a pretty good game in that regard. Find out after the game he's hurt. The next day, Joe Flacco was on a commercial flight to Cleveland, and the rest is history. And so you think to yourself, you're gonna build off of that. Now, obviously you're thinking, okay, well, Deshaun Watson is back. Is he? Because I know we kept on making ever since he got to Houston, to Cleveland. Will he go back to the Houston ways? And obviously, his team is still stacked, still got great weapons at the time, great defensive team, and it just didn't go into fruition. And obviously, at this point, they just look terrible, and they were sellers in today's market, getting rid of Darius Smith. So, they're by far even though I didn't necessarily think they were going to make a playoffs, but I figured they were going to make at least the AFC North compelling. Obviously, I think because then they get ready to have a series about the AFC North coming up. I think maybe a couple of weeks or so. I figured this was going to be a way for them to kind of make it interesting. They still could probably play spoiler to Pittsburgh and Baltimore, even Cincinnati, in these final 9 weeks of the season. But they were my biggest disappointment at this point, the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So, which team under 500 will make the playoffs? We'll go to you first, Mark. What you
Oh, my fault. What was the question again?
got? So which team under 500 will make the playoffs?
As much as I think that the Bengals have been a disappointment, if you look at the standings, they're really right there. You got Chargers and Broncos right in front of them. So I think they actually might be the team that could possibly still make a run to get to the playoffs, just because of the fact that the teams in front of them still got question marks on the seriousness on how good they could really be. So yeah, I would definitely go with Joe Burrow and Mr. Gritty. Only thing I ask from the Bengals, stop Mike Gesicki from doing the gritty. I don't know what the hell that is. Just chill out on that. But no, I think the Bengals still make a wild card spot for sure.
All right. Mallory, who you got?
I got two teams, but that I was thinking about. I put the Broncos, and I was looking. They can easily, even if they lose to the Chiefs, which I think they will, they'll be 10-7. And I was like, that's kind of like they were last year. And then I pulled back and I said, nah, they're not gonna do it. I think the team that under 500, I think it's gonna be it could easily be the Colts, with the Texans having some issues with injuries, and and teams are starting to notice. Might be a sophomore slump a little bit. That line is not good, and it's about to get serious. Them veteran players are they warm up in the cold for some reason. I don't know what it is, but I think they're gonna start really popping that team, because you know what I mean. And so I think with Flacco being there, he can easily lead them. I mean, come on, they got the Giants, the Jags, the Titans. These is teams. The difference between the two, the Broncos is not going to be to win their division. Well, the Colts has an opportunity where they can win a division. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I pick them. They're the ones that's under 500 that could be overachieved, whatever. Basically saying they have a chance to win their division.
Yeah, I think mine is going to be Cincinnati as well. They're right at 4-5. They got a big game in 48 hours against the Baltimore Ravens. And these are kind of those moments where they're in a good spot. And I think Cincinnati, in a strange way, at 4-5, they can take care of business. I know they got the road trip in Baltimore, then they got to go to LA. They got a bad week after that. And then from there, the road gets a little easier. Obviously coming off the bat, you still got to play Pittsburgh. You got to play them twice. But you got Dallas, Tennessee, and then Cleveland, and then a Denver team that, like you said, Mar, where it's like they're going to be battling for that spot potentially. So they'll be there right as well, too. But I know this team isn't under 500. This is a team at 500 that I definitely think going to make the playoffs. I think it's going to be San Francisco 49ers. They're not done. They're another. I know people, and that's one thing, too. I think people, especially when they talk about the NFC, you got the Lions, you got the Commanders, you got the Eagles. Let's not forget the reigning NFC champion, especially now with Christian McCaffrey slated to come back next week following this bye. It could be a very, very scary out for whoever if they are a wild card team. Could you imagine San Francisco 49ers being a 6 or 7 seed and potentially having to go to potentially Washington or maybe Minnesota or Atlanta?
Tough matchup.
Tough, right? And they can go 3,000 miles and get a win on a Sunday or a Saturday afternoon on the 3rd January and the MLK weekend and Wildcard weekend. So
right,
they can. San Francisco, they ain't done.
Yeah, they ain't done until the fat lady singing. She tuning up. She tuning up. She at the table. But the microphone off. But
right.
Let her cut it off.
Right. And it's just like you said, I was looking at the Colts team. They were Richardson. I was looking at the score, even though they were losing, they wasn't losing by much. And it was just like something's missing. Maybe it's just some experience or something. You know what I mean? But where I didn't even look at that coach. Yeah, because I was like, hold up, man. I'm looking at the 49, and then I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh, injuries. But yeah, that's a good one right there.
Yeah, because I think if Luke come back,
Mm.
he's going to change the complexity. Because I mean, they can get it done with. I mean, hell,
Okay, I can
Juwan
get it done
Jennings
with
could have been
McCarthy.
Super Bowl MVP
All right.
Yeah.
this year. Like, they
Right.
can just they can do it. So they're another they're they're a little frightening. But
Right.
so which team that is over 500 that will miss the playoffs? I'm gonna go with you first, Mark. What you got?
I'm kind of stuck between the Chargers and the Broncos. I Here's the thing. The Chargers, I know their defense is looking better and it looks good on paper for what they've been doing stats wise. And shout out to J.K. Dobbins, who's been been killed by injuries the last 2 years, and he's having a resurgence of his career right now. Having a hell of a season rushing the ball. The only thing that really scares me about them is where's your signature win? They don't have no signature win. I mean, they couldn't beat Pittsburgh. They didn't beat the Chiefs. They got to play them again in Arrowhead, so I wouldn't favor them to win that game neither. Um, I don't know if they're built to be a playoff team yet because you're not beating those upper echelon teams, whether it's the NFC or AFC. And then the Broncos, almost kind of the same thing. Where's your signature win? And then you got a rook at quarterback with Bo Nix, who's he can make some plays. He's been making some plays, but then he does some rookie stuff. So uh, I'm still looking for them to do something. So those two teams, I'm kind of on the fence if they're going to make the playoffs or not.
What you got, Mal?
I just got one to go back to what I was saying. I'm putting the Texans. I
Mm,
just feel like with Diggs being hurt and they not really having. I mean, they got another. I think they got a couple of receivers, but I think Diggs was really helping them. And I know they got Mixon and Mixon's balling, but it's just that quarterback's been getting touched because of that offensive line,
yeah,
and I don't know, they just real close. They right there, man. And it's not to me. You always should want to win, but I do know they have a great quarterback and he needs experience. And I think even if they make it, they might not even be there long. You know what I mean? So so I'm saying the Texans. I think that Diggs injury really hurt them.
mm,
And I think it's gonna be a Denver Broncos. They're another one where when you realize there's levels to this. Obviously,
Hmm.
how they got thumped by the Baltimore Ravens, it's almost like they're the puppy and the Baltimore
Right.
Ravens is the big dog. And it's to a point where I don't think this is going to be sustainable.
Hmm.
They got some interesting games. Obviously, they gotta go to Kansas City. They
Hmm.
gotta play the
That's it.
Falcons. They play the
Right.
Raiders. They play Cleveland. Then they got a bye. Got Indy.
Hmm.
You got the Chargers, which I think that could potentially maybe a game that kind of like eliminate them potentially, like play itself out. And then you got Cincinnati. So
Right.
you got the Chargers, Cincinnati, then Kansas City. Those final three games where they're going to have to win two or three of those games, and we don't
Right.
know how this all play out. Obviously, I think a Chargers team. I definitely think, like I mentioned them, they're a wild card team to me, as I predicted in the preseason. So they're gonna be playing for something. Cincinnati, I think, is gonna be playing for something, and then I don't know what Kansas City is going to do at this point. I mean, maybe we might have a little Carson Wentz action on January, the first weekend of January, potentially if it's all said and done with. So who's to say, just to give them the benefit of the doubt, maybe to get them somewhat of a mulligan, but we don't even know what this Kansas City team will be at week 18, that first Saturday in January, well, the first weekend in January. I mean, they might be playing for something too. So, you're gonna have to probably win 2 out of those 3 games. Do I trust Bo Nix, even though at his advanced age? Do I trust him to go to Cincinnati, go to the jungle, and go to SoFi? Go to SoFi the weekend before Christmas and the last weekend of 2024 to the jungle in Cincinnati. I don't know. They might want to call the park ranger if you go to the jungle.
He said, "Call the park ranger."
It's gonna be a tough. That's gonna be a tough game. So I don't know if they can withstand that. So,
hey, yo, boo boo.
But regardless of what happened, it's still a great story. I think I look at Denver as a 5-6 win team anyway. So what they do from now on is just it's just a springboard to maybe 2025. But hell, if I'm even wrong with that, it's still a great accomplishment. What they've done, in my personal opinion, and my expectations, they exceeded my expectations thus far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because we definitely. I think when we all were there, I think we had a bunch of people on the show, and we really didn't know how that team was going to be. We was all talking about the quarterback and which one they were going to pick, and this person they should go this way, but this guy, got the, we really didn't know. So I'm shocked to see where they were. And you're right. It was some games I was being nice to give them, and I still was getting like 10-7. I was like, man, I was those big teams. I had them beating the Bengals. You know what I mean? I'm going to do that. I'm in their division. I don't like them. So I'm going, you know what I mean? But
the hate always stays strong.
I was like, damn.
Stay strong, huh?
But I said, damn, man, for them to really make it, they really got to beat the Chiefs or I think the Falcons. And I was like, damn, I don't know if they're going to be able to do that. You know what I mean? That's a lot. You know what I mean? But it is what it is,
Yeah. Especially, they really changed my mind after they lost to Denver or something. I mean, they lost to Baltimore in that type of fashion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They got their ass kicked.
Yeah.
That boy got a security blanket back there now.
Boy.
Hey, but they still got to go to Arrowhead. At this point, unfortunately, they did it to themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that man's toe was a little bit too long, and then they was bullshitting with the Browns and the Raiders. I mean, stuff like that. You can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, because it's gonna be they going to Arrowhead that last week in January. Just just come in that thing and protect y'all phones because your boy slamming phones. So don't talk about Travis.
Those are my Cleveland brethren. Leave them alone, cuz.
I mean, I don't blame them. Because you're not gonna talk about my brother like that. No, hell no.
Right.
Not for
right.
Not for, I don't blame
you. Ain't talking. Yeah, that's disrespectful.
Very disrespectful. Yeah, I'm with you.
You think you got this little internet courage? Nah, I see you was on site. You ain't gonna call my brother that because he dating? Like,
right.
I don't care if you don't like her or not. That's he lucky his face didn't get smashed.
Yeah, I was having that conversation with a friend. I said that you better be lucky. That's the only thing Jason did was just
right. Right, and that thing, I'm just like, I understand, like he want to apologize because he want to take the high road, but at the end of the day, man, that dude need to apologize to you because he ain't had no business saying that to you at all.
Right.
But yeah, so gotta go into our bold second half takes. It can be. It don't have to be. Atomic bomb hot, but just any type of take that you got going into the second half of the season. What you got, Mar?
Yeah, man. I think you kind of hit on it earlier. I think Doug Peterson. I don't think a lot of people kind of saw him on the hot seat. I think he's going to lose his job. And it may not be a bold take, but I just think it's a take that needs to be said because at the end of the day, he was brought in to improve Trevor Lawrence, and they paid him. So Trevor's not going nowhere. He can keep being the turnover machine that he is, and
Right.
he's still going to be the starter quarterback next year because he got a big ass contract. It's a lot easier to get rid of the coach and bring in another offensive mind to I guess fix quote unquote Trevor Lawrence and his turnover issues than it is to get rid of Trevor Lawrence. So I hate to say it because I think it's jacked up that Doug Peterson is going to lose his job because his quarterback can't protect the football. But those are the breaks of the NFL, and it doesn't help that they're losing. Jaguars. I don't want to say they're unlucky, but damn it, they always find all kinds of ways to lose games. You know what I'm saying? If they were winning, you can absolve Trevor Lawrence of some of these turnover issues because they be winning, but they're not. They're turning the ball over and losing. Those are bad recipes. So, Dougie P, like my man Couch said, you might be home for Christmas, bro.
Yeah, at 2-7. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. What you got, Mal?
So I had two good ones, but Coach kind of messed up my first one, so I'm gonna go ahead and let that just go ahead and let that be what it is. I'm just messing with you. I was messing with you. So I got my first take is the 49ers will not make the playoffs, and Brock Purdy will not get the money he deserves. That was my bold joint.
Oh.
Y'all roll for that. All right, and then my next, huh?
No, I'm saying that one kind of took me off guard because I'm thinking, man, Brock Purdy not getting that bread. I mean, what he's done?
Because I feel like they would have gave it to him. They should have paid him already. Just like Trey got his money. How Trey Lawrence get his bread, B? And look at Trey Lawrence and look at Brock Purdy.
I feel you.
And you know why they did that? Let me tell you why they did that. One is because how Brock was drafted, which shouldn't mean anything, to be honest with you, but I'm sure it does. And I think it just wasn't set up for him to be. I think they really just didn't think that he would be the one they'd be giving this type of money, that type of money to. You know what I mean? And I've been having this discussion for a while, for about a year now, and I was like, they should go ahead and just pay him, get it over with, give him an extension. Like, why would you even play?
True.
Matter of fact, isn't that one of the main issues with the 49ers for some years now? They needed a real quarterback, like a straight up quarterback, being consistent. And in the last 5-6 years, who's been their most consistent quarterback? I think they had it, So my next one goes to that. My next watch Brock. So my next one is Cooper Rush will get pulled in the next game, and Trey will be playing, and he will win 2 or 3 games, and the Cowboys will start what the Cowboys do. Start doing what the Cowboys do. Start doing what the Cowboys do. Because I think you need to sit Zach. I don't think you need to bring Zach back. Trade Zach.
Yeah.
You cooking with that one, Mo.
Man, that's a stretch. That's a stretch. But I was like, It's an
But
opportunity
you know
for
what,
Trey to
Maui?
come.
But you know what, Maui? I don't think you far off. I know they paid Dak.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. I I didn't agree with Jerry paying Dak. And
Mm-hmm.
you saw it. I mean, they literally paid him right before the Browns game in Week 1, right before the
Right.
season.
Right.
I still don't agree with them paying him, but at this point in time, the way that the team is structured and the way that he's playing, I can justify trading him. And I think there's still a GM silly enough to still take on that salary and take that.
Yep.
I don't hate that take at all.
New York City.
hey, New
Damn, I'll
Orleans.
take a bad contract already. It's out of cap hell though.
Right.
Like, ooh. Yeah, that would be something. But yeah, because they probably will. Because if they continue to be bad, they're gonna have to get a quarterback. I mean, if you're at a point where if they're currently where they at, maybe they in the top 10, 15, there'll be a quarterback for them in that first round. Like they're in the top, I say about top 15. They have an opportunity to potentially move up and get a quarterback in this draft, and why not just
You
start
talking about the
over? And I
Giants?
know, no, the Cowboys.
Mm.
And obviously we all know who they're linked to if a 2025 rookie quarterback comes into play, it would be Shadua Sanders. Potentially going to the Dallas Cowboys, or Dion pulling the Archie Manning because he damn sure ain't going to Carolina.
Oh no! Oh hell no!
He ain't going to Carolina. Trust me, I ain't his dad, and I'm telling him not to go to Carolina. And nah. But my bold take, I think the San Francisco 49ers, they will make the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to be, but regardless whether if they win the division, if they're a 4th seed, 5th, 6th, 4th through 7th, they're going to be dangerous. I think San Francisco 49ers is going to be probably one of the most dangerous teams. And obviously, you still can look at Detroit, you still look at Washington, Atlanta, as people look at now as constructed, but don't let them come in. Don't let San Francisco come in. I think they can, and it's almost like they do this just about every year. Like they kind of slide under the radar and then they get hot late.
Yep.
I think except for like last year they was rolling for the most part, but most of the years when they've been contending, they've been kind of right at it, then get hot at the end. So I think San Francisco is they're a dangerous team in the NFC for sure.
Yeah. End up playing a damn team like the Falcons and probably beat them because Falcons should have got some more defense. They one of them dud teams that's going to the playoffs, man. That most likely will go to the playoffs. What I mean, because
Yeah,
they didn't do anything on the offseason. I mean, they didn't do anything for the trade deadlines. What I mean,
yeah, but yeah, they could be dangerous. Yeah, they dangerous. Yeah.
right? Because who else is coming in that was healthy? That was hurt. Is anybody else besides McCaffrey?
They just C-Mac, obviously. I know. I'm not sure as far as with Debo. I think he's like in and out the lineup. I don't know what's going on with Debo, but I mean, you bring in a guy like a C-Mac, he is your offensive production, and he's another safety net for a Brock Purdy.
Mm-hmm.
And shoot, they better pay him because once again, quarterbacks like that don't grow on trees.
Right. He should have already been paid. He should have already been paid. Should have been paid already. It should have been focusing on the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
And
been taken care of.
And you know what's an interesting take? And I actually heard this from a guy on TikTok, and I kind of agree with him. Cal Shanahan is almost like Andy Reid, where once he gets a top 10 quarterback, he can have a run almost similar to Andy Reid. And I'm like, you know what? That makes sense because essentially, Kyle Shanahan really hasn't had what I call like a top 10 quarterback play.
Right. I'm with you.
So I'm like, he got a legitimate shot. Like if he can ever have a situation where he can pull like a hype like y'all like what Andy Reid did to get Patrick Mahomes, he got a shot. But and that's what I'm thinking maybe that's why they haven't paid Brock yet. I think they maybe still waiting for better. But then it's almost to a point where but you can't but the thing about that too is they really can't whip on it because they already failed Trey Lance. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like if they do this, and they fail again, Cal's gonna be an offensive coordinator somewhere. And he's gonna lose the opportunity to be a head coach again.
I feel like they did the same thing to Dak. We was, in our archives with Chip, because Chip was the Cowboy fan. I asked him, he said, I know Dak is gonna come play because Roma was hurt a lot. So we said the same thing, man. Pay Dak like you're supposed to. But I believe in their mind, wasn't really the quarterback they necessarily wanted. You know what I mean? And they thought they was gonna be to get one of those, premier quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Like that's gonna be to throw the ball that's not gonna choke and try to when it's 15 seconds on the clock, not gonna scramble in a playoff game.
But still.
Slide. I'm sorry. Robo said he don't have enough time to scramble. Yeah. I don't think he should have done that. Sorry. But yeah, I think he should get paid. I think about it. If y'all was in his position, wouldn't that mess with you? Like, why don't they just go ahead and give me my extension?
Yeah, because he's like to your point, Molly, he's been the most consistent quarterback play that Kyle Shanahan has had. I mean, Jimmy didn't work out. He was in and out of the lineup. Trey Lance didn't work out. Other than that, they had a whole bunch of no names who are backups in the league, or if not out the league. So, and if I'm Brock Purdy, I'm definitely asking for my money. Like, bro, I was the last pick in the draft, and I have absolutely outperformed my contract. I mean, what else you want from me? I got you to a Super Bowl. I got you to consecutive NFC Championship games. Like, I mean, only thing I haven't done was win it. And say what you want, they could have won that Super Bowl last year. But at the end of the day, if I'm Brock Purdy, I'm going to my agent and say, hey man, they didn't pay Brandon Ayuk. They didn't reworked Trent Williams' contract. They didn't rework McCaffrey contract.
Right.
Why all these other cats on the same offense with me getting paid?
Debo got paid.
And where my bread at? So I would feel some type of way if I was if I was Brock Purdy. Like, come on, everybody getting their checks. Where mine at? So
and the court, like I learned this dude, your Raiders buddy that was on here early this year. And I asked him about the quarterback situation, and he said, man, there was no quarterbacks on the market. So, let's pull back for a second. You just had Deshaun Watson. I'm just looking at it. I say, hold up. You say, hey, there's no quarterbacks on the market? So if I'm Brock Purdy, any quarterback, I'm like, yo, y'all need to give me my extension because there's plenty of room for me out there. You know what I mean? There's teams that really do need a quarterback. Like, what are y'all talking about? So we shouldn't even be having this conversation. Like, I'm going to let it go, but think of the guys that we talk about are top guys that hasn't even been to the Super Bowl or the division of like the NFC or AFC championship that we even talk like Josh Allen. Like, you know what I'm saying? He got his bread. Remember when he got his money and everybody was like, oh, he this and that. He has not been as successful as Brock Purdy. He may have been close to being an MVP or something. But no, it's a lot of guys that got paid. Lamar should have got paid because he's Lamar. You know what I'm saying? Joe Burrow got there too. He got paid. So it's just sit there. You like, and it's some more. It's some more. A lot of quarterbacks got paid. You just sit back. You're like, damn. If I'm Brock, I'm like, yo. And he playing. That's the other thing. He's playing too, where a lot of people are hurt. And I'm like, man, if his numbers don't look right, they're gonna use that against him. Or if he ain't successful, they don't make it to the playoffs or something, they're gonna use that against him.
Shoot. Josh Allen just gave Patrick Mahomes 13 seconds. That's the reason why he ain't make it though so far. That damn overtime rule.
Hey, you can't even say 13 around Josh Allen.
Hell no. That's a
right.
That's why they got rid of Gabe Davis.
Hey.
Hey,
man. But if you should just sit there and think about it though, like it's just crazy. He should have been one of the first ones that got an extension, because that's what they worried about. How much bread they gotta get him, and they don't know if I don't think they think he's worth it, man.
Hey,
that's I ain't surprised.
Hey, but that's kind of playing Russian roulette at the situation. Right. Because at this point, if you don't think that he's the guy, well, who are you going to go get? Because I mean,
ain't nobody.
Because honestly, I don't think the 49ers will be in a position to draft a franchise quarterback. There won't be too many quarterbacks that are franchise worthy. That's just going to be sitting there waiting to get signed. As a free agent. I mean, to be honest, man, you need to ride with Brock. I mean, he's outperformed his contract. Hey, you don't want to be one of these teams without a quarterback, and then all of a sudden you pretty much reset your franchise back.
Right.
It's like he's still got to trying to prove himself. It's like he's like he's still, and I'm saying, and it's like, give him his bread so he can focus on what y'all want. But I'm gonna tell you the truth, and I know he's a Washington Commander alumni. It's because they think it's Shanahan's system. That's what they really thinking. Like they feel like they could put anybody in his system and they could be successful. And I'm not gonna say that it's not, but I'm saying you can say the same thing about Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. It was his system but then once they committed to Patrick, you got to see him embrace and be evolution and be able to be unleashed a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't got to be worried about, man, I got to make this contract. You know what I mean? You ain't got to be looking over your shoulder. And you don't think Brock's seen what they did to Trey and the rest and the other quarterbacks? You don't think man, you go back and really look at that. That was some crazy drama, bro. That was some crazy drama. Anyway, it's crazy.
Yeah. They can find out, and like you said, unless they think the astronaut gonna save them, and Josh Dobbs. Other than that, that's it. That's all they got.
He said the astronaut. I forgot he's a NASA dude.
And he was with my team. Look and that was years ago, back when Ben played, and he's still running around. You know, it's a market for a quarterback. Like this, he's still around. Yeah, I mean, but still, like, you know what I mean. Eventually, it come that way, man. But honestly, they ain't paid him yet. That's what they feel. They feel he a backup.
They got a lot to figure out.
Hey, that's how you end up asked out, bro.
The 49ers be ashamed of themselves. It's the 49ers. You talking about, Sturridge franchise, man. You supposed to know, like, if this dude is doing this, then we need to, give you like Hostetler and you know what I mean. What's my man that used to for the Rams, Kurt Warner, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just putting him in those predicaments. A Hostetler, Kurt Warner, like, he was the last pick. They didn't think he would be able to do this. You know what I mean? But they supposed to know, man, like, I don't know. Shit ain't, stuff ain't the same, man. You know what I mean? People ain't got home phones. I'm sorry. My bad. My bad. I'm silly, B. I'm silly.
Hey, you say landline to these youngins. They say landline. Huh?
Landline. Hold up. Rotary phone.
Right. Right.
Really? Really? Look, and I'll be telling them, I say, yeah, look, I was like 4. I found this one number and I would call it every other day, and I hear their voice and I hang up, and then I'll call it. It goes, it's like, for real. I was like, yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, anyway.
Hey, Mal, you tripping, bro.
I'm just sack the silly, B. That's all.
Yeah. So, all right, fellas, we're gonna put a bow on tonight's show. We'll go around the horn, final thoughts and social media, and upcoming project. What you got going on? I'm gonna go with you first, Mom. What you got?
Oh man, final thought, man. NFL's been NFL in this year, man. Teams that you thought were gonna, be good, they've been playing around, playing with their food, and certain teams are because of the product and they are playing a lot better than expected. So I mean, it's going to get real interesting this second half, because I think there's going to be some fall off of some teams. There might be some teams that might emerge that need to get their shit together. So, but other than that, man, I always got all kind of projects going on, man. So just go over to my Twitter page, KC Wildcard Mar, where I'll be posting all the projects that I got going on. So, man, other than that, man, I always appreciate talking sports with Bounty and Couch, man. I always appreciate y'all fellas, man.
Always.
I appreciate you. Oh man, final thoughts. I want to great show. I was happy to see you on here, man, because I do feel like I think Patrick Mahomes has changed the landscape of how, and even got these NFL guys trusting that style of play. Like, you don't hear too much about the pocket quarterback as much as anymore. You know what I mean? And that's why I feel like, he should be the face of the league. And I do feel like they should have more. I think they overly proved themselves. And yeah, it is about the W, but they shouldn't have to use Taylor Swift last season. You know what I'm saying? I get it, but they didn't have to do that because they're not a boring team. You know what I'm saying? They're actually an exciting team to watch. So that's why I was happy that you was on here so we could piggyback on what I said before. I want to send, I don't know what's going on, but I want to send love and strength to the San Antonio Spurs coach. They say that he's out indefinitely. And I have been looking at him. He did seem like he was getting a little under the weather. I don't know what's going on. But I want to send, I know all sports people, I ain't seen nobody talk about him. I want to send some love and strength to him. You know what I mean? Especially this election day. He loves talking about the election. But DT Morgan 78, Instagram Deshaun Morgan on Facebook. You know what I mean? Appreciate you, Coach. I always love being on this jump.
Yeah. So once again, another great show. Hoping that we have given everyone somewhat of a respite as the night progresses. We know tonight is going to be, a lot of people could be potentially a tough night for what have you. But regardless of what happens tonight, just understand, hey, it's, the sun will come out tomorrow or whenever we find the results, whatever. And everything's gonna be okay. Because we know how people are. We know people that are in our lives personally, even removed from us. How these type of events can somewhat be chaotic for some, and just hopefully that people can just be peaceful these next couple of days, be vigilant, don't do nothing stupid, and just be civil. But project wise, pretty much Facebook, Twitter, Instagram on the Couch Coach Live. The website couchcoachlive.com. So pretty much all our content will be on our social media. Definitely drop some content from yesterday's VCU season opener. We'll drop some more content. Got an article on couchcoachlive.com. Just go to VC Rams tab. We'll have the latest game recaps from there as well. So, this wraps up this week's Couch Coach Live, man. And next week is to be determined. I don't know what day. I think next Wednesday is another one. So we'll keep you updated on our social media page or when we'll go live. But, we shall see. But this wraps up our 8th annual Couch Coach Live NFL Midseason Palooza. And catch you guys on the next episode. And stay safe and don't freak out. And we out.
You welcome.